Honourable Member Barhead, Warrenville, Westlock.
Mr. Speaker, rebates have been issued to employers in past years because of WCB surpluses. WCB policy stipulates refunds to be automatically triggered once the WCB funding ratio exceeds 128%. Preliminary reports peg the fund at over 131%. This government has been making it harder for businesses to grow and be profitable, especially during this economic downturn, making these rebates all the more important. Minister, will employers indeed be receiving a refund as in past years, and when can they expect to receive these refunds?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We embarked on a review of the Workers' Compensation Board because it is so important that Albertans feel confident that WCB provides fair compensation as well as meaningful rehabilitation. The WCB manages its own funds and will make decisions of its own mind as to what to do with surpluses or other funds. At this point, we are currently working with the WCB to make sure we have a system that works for both employers and workers.
Honourable member.
Given that refunds provide an incentive for businesses to maintain safe practices, and given these rebates enable deserving employers with good safety records to focus on growing their businesses, creating jobs and investing in new and safer equipment, and given that the new board members of the WCB have now been appointed, and given that the WCB already receives more than adequate funding to carry out its mandate, will the minister let us know if there are any possible justifications for the WCB to withhold refunds, and if so, what are they?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We are currently undergoing a review of the WCB so that we can ensure that there is adequate funding to ensure that we are providing adequate services to make sure that it is fiscally sustainable because, Mr. Speaker, the system had not been reviewed in over 15 years. That was irresponsible. We need to make sure that we have a system that is operating for workers and employers, and that review is currently ongoing.
That's right. Second sub.
Given that the Labour Minister announced the review of the Workers' Compensation Board in March of 2016, and given that this review examines WCB practices and policies, given that job creators in this province are hearing rumours that the WCB will be increasing premiums despite operating with massive surpluses, will the minister please tell us when the WCB review panel will publish its report, and what is she hearing? Are there any intentions of increasing WCB premiums, yes or no?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Because it had been over 15 years since the last review, we appointed a 3-person panel to take a serious look at the Workers' Compensation Board system. They have been meeting to review all aspects of the workers' compensation policy, funding, etc. They are submitting their report to me spring of this year. I'm looking forward to their recommendations. I do not yet know what their recommendations will be finalized as, and therefore cannot speculate, but I do know that I'm looking forward to reviewing those recommendations.